Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to WDBJ7 Plus. Hope you're having a good morning so far. It is Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. We are getting into the start of a new work week. So we're going to be able to give you everything you need to know to get your work week started here on WDBJ7 Plus. For those who are new here, we are live here every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to bring you your top local headlines, some exclusive interviews. We talk about a lot of fun events across our hometowns, and we also give you a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast. We are going to take a look at that a little bit later in the show, but first we are going to start with those top local headlines for today, and I do want to start by letting y'all know about this accident that is going on currently right now on I-581. As you can see from this VDOT traffic camera, it looks like there's a tractor trailer incident involving another vehicle. You can see it wedged there almost underneath the tractor trailer up on top of the median. So just use caution if you are going out in that area. We are hoping and praying for the best outcome there. But yeah, it looks like crews are on the scene helping with that. Again, that's southbound over on 581. And over in Danville, there's been an accident on the Holbrook Avenue area, and we actually have a Facebook post here from the Danville Fire Department saying that this accident is involving a train and a car, and that units are currently on scene mitigating a fuel spill. So they're saying please avoid that area. All railroad crossings that are parallel to Industrial Avenue from South Main Street to Craighead Street will be closed until further notice. And so, yeah, just again, that is in the Holbrook Avenue area of Danville there. And we also do have some breaking news this morning. We've been continuing to follow this story over the weekend. The man accused of killing a Carroll County Sheriff's deputy has been captured. And so last night, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office shared this photo of Michael Puckett following his arrest at around 9 o'clock last night. And investigators say Deputy Logan Utt was shot and killed during a welfare check along Fancy Gap Highway on Friday, and a second deputy was wounded. Now, Puckett was found in Surrey County, North Carolina, and in a Facebook post, the sheriff's office thanked all neighboring law enforcement for being able to help, and all of those agencies, the entire community, for assisting in the capture. And now Puckett is being held at the Surrey County Detention Center in North Carolina, and deputies say the motive for the attack is still unknown. And anything that happened immediately after the incident is being investigated by Virginia State Police, and anything that happened in North Carolina will be under Surrey County jurisdiction. And there will be a funeral procession today for Deputy Utt, and that's scheduled for noon, but we are hearing it may be a little bit of a delay due to traffic, but definitely stay with us on air and online for that coverage. We do have our reporter and photographers. They're going to head out there to provide coverage for you on that, and we are planning to stream it as well. And so, yeah, definitely we'll be keeping you up to date with that, and we're just we have that deputy's family and his life in our thoughts today. But now that school is out and summer is officially here, a lot of high school and college students are looking for work. And as we know, lifeguarding is a pretty popular summer job, but there is a national shortage that has been a concern for years. So in Roanoke County, though, one water park says it's investing in lifeguards to help fill the gap. So our very own Connor Arthur has that story.
Splash Valley Water Park held what it called its Take Two weekend after weather impacted Memorial Day festivities. The park opened in 2010, attracting thousands of families with its 30-foot slides, spray ground, lazy river, and other attractions. For students looking for a summer job, the park says Roanoke County is a great place to start.
Most of the supervisors who work here are very patient with 15 and 16-year-olds coming in and starting their job for the first time. I can't think of one of us that doesn't want them here.
Zach Van Kuren is the park's pool manager. This year marks his 5th summer with Splash Valley. He says he started after his freshman year at Radford University. Now he's working on his master's degree.
You kind of make your own schedule for the most part. You put your availability in, and then you get scheduled for what you're available for. You can rack up a lot of hours, or you could just work a couple days a week. We're kind of like a family here, so everybody for the most part just gets along, has a good time, and you make friends.
Families told me their favorite part of the park is the slides or the pool or the lazy river. For Hickey, it's the people keeping the fun safe.
I think that this is also one of the safest pools you can come to. Obviously, since I'm very invested in my lifeguards, I like to shout their praise. But our lifeguards do an excellent job watching our water and making sure that all our guests who come here are going to be safe.
Splash Valley is open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday through Sunday each week through Labor Day in September. Reporting in Roanoke County, Connor Arthur, WDBJ7.
All right, and as we know, we did get a lot of rain, but we're still not out of the woods yet. The recent drought monitor shows that the good soaking rain that we did get across our hometowns has us going in the right direction, which is great news, but our producers will be feeling the rippling effects of the drought for quite some time. Beekeepers are finding themselves coming up short for this year's honey supply. So Nisi Payne tells us all about it in today's Grown Here at Home.
Here at Heritage Apiary in Botetourt County, the bees are active, but sadly, they don't have much to work with this year. With the lack of rain, the flow of nectar is not so good, meaning honey production is low. It's an issue beekeepers like Vasilia McCready are dealing with.
Unfortunately, it is taking a hold of the bees and other pollinators that we have in the area. It's a little unnerving, and we're getting a little nervous about our honey production and how the bees will fare through the summer.
Many plants bloomed early this year, so she actually started harvesting honey well before she normally would in June. And now we've been stuck in this drought for so long, the plants are water stressed, so they have fewer blooms and shorter flowering periods, which means the bees can't pull the necessary nectar to produce honey. While Vasilia's early spring harvest was nice, it's still not enough.
A lot of honey producers do two harvests, one in the spring and one in the fall. Because the spotted lanternfly came in, we kind of lost our fall flow, and now we're recommended to not harvest that honey. If we don't have a spring flow, we then don't have anything to harvest in the early part of the year either.
It's a significant loss for beekeepers.
You know, as a small owner, I don't have any type of business insurance to cover me for that year like other big productions may have, but the small backyard beekeepers, we just kind of have to go through the year as a tough year, and hopefully that next year it will be better.
If honey is a staple in your pantry, it would be wise to make a honey run.
Stock up, because I can't promise you that we're going to have a lot to last the year.
In a hard year for honey production, any liquid gold you can get your hands on is certainly a treasure. In Botetourt County, Nisi Payne, WDBJ7.
All right, yeah, I love me some homemade, homegrown honey, that's for sure. All right, well, every veteran has a story. Some are filled with honor, courage, and sacrifice. Others are marked by trauma, addiction, and loss. And addiction affects 2.8 million veterans. Warriors trained for combat, but are unprepared for the invisible wounds of war. To name a few, PTSD, chronic pain, isolation, and survivor's guilt. Eric Garrison experienced all of these as a combat veteran after his tours in Iraq.
I went from being in charge of soldiers, training them, all this equipment, millions of dollars worth of equipment, to working at Walmart in the garden center. And I just consumed myself in drugs and alcohol, anything I could find to try to disconnect from reality.
Fortunately, Garrison eventually got help and now runs a home for men struggling the way he did. Tonight at 6 on WDBJ7, Melissa Gaona has a Target 7 report on how many of our military hit rock bottom but find a reason to live again. So definitely make sure to check that out. If you can't watch it right at 6 or happen to miss it, you can also check it out on our website, WDBJ7.com. It will also be uploaded there after it airs at 6. All right, well, this Saturday is the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, a major turning point during World War II. It's also the 25th anniversary of the National D-Day Memorial in Bedford. And so in this week's visit to the WDBJ7 archive, our senior reporter, Joe DeShield, takes us back to the dedication ceremony in 2001.
25 years ago, thousands of people gathered on the grounds of the newly completed memorial. They were there to honor the men who landed on the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944, and turned the tide of World War II in Europe, and to pay tribute to the monumental sacrifice that was felt in Bedford and in other small towns and big cities across the country. It was hot on June 6, 2001, but a welcome contrast to conditions the day before.
Officials are preparing for a large crowd, perhaps 20,000 strong tomorrow. How these people are going to get in and out of Bedford is anyone's guess.
When strong winds, dangerous lightning, and torrential rain blew through the area and threatened the preparations.
Yeah, we are definitely fighting Mother Nature today. Thanks for joining us and sticking with us through this thunderstorm, and we'll have more coverage of D-Day Memorial. Good night.
By Wednesday morning, the storm clouds had cleared and Air Force One landed at the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. President George W. Bush made his way to Bedford by motorcade. The dream of building a national D-Day memorial started many years earlier, requiring more than a decade to rally support, plan the project, and construct the memorial. Bob Slaughter and other D-Day veterans had lobbied local governments and advocated for a memorial in the region. Bedford embraced the proposal, and locating the memorial in the town that endured more casualties per capita than any other in the nation made perfect sense.
Today we give thanks for all that was gained on the beaches of Normandy. We remember what was lost with respect, admiration, and love.
In 2001, 57 years after the Allied assault, many of the veterans who took part in the invasion were still alive. And for some who attended the dedication, their first look at the memorial brought tears.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Many were thinking of friends who never made it home.
The real heroes are the guys that didn't come back. They're still over there. And that's what this memorial is all about.
They soaked up the recognition decades overdue.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you. And the thanks of a grateful nation and our allies around the world.
On behalf of the French people, your oldest ally, allow me to say once again, thank you, America. God bless the United States.
Joe DeShield, WDBJ7.
All right, and from across our hometowns, the performances are in, and now it's your turn. Watch the Star Spangled Sing-Off entries and vote for your favorite now through June 12th. Pick the one you want to see from our hometowns as our local winner. Then on June 18th, we'll announce who's moving one step closer to an all-expenses-paid trip to Nashville, where they'll film a performance that will air across the country. So vote now at WDBJ7.com/contests. Every view, every vote counts. So go ahead, show us some hometown pride. I'm so excited myself to see some of those entries and, hear the amazing talent that we have across our hometown. So yeah, go ahead and show them some love. All right, y'all, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we are going to take a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast. Meteorologist Tanner Brammer is going to join us to talk about everything we can expect as far as the weather goes for the rest of the week. So stay with us. Welcome back to WDBJ7 Plus. Thanks for staying with us. We're now joined by meteorologist Tanner Brammer. Tanner, happy Monday. Did you have a good weekend?
I had a pretty good weekend, yeah. The weather was nice, and, yesterday was the last day of May. We're about to kick off the month of June.
Yes.
We're gonna see that summer weather start to become more and more common. I know a lot of people are probably going to be happy to hear that.
Yes, yeah. I've been seeing, our forecast, and it looks great for the first week of June. Super excited about that. Won't need really the, umbrellas or rain jackets too much, or if at all, this week. So that's good.
Yeah, I don't think so. And fun fact, today is actually the first day of meteorological summer, which is obviously different from the first day of astronomical summer. And we are going to see some warm temperatures on the way here for the next several days for the most part. Now, it's going to come with a couple of caveats. Tomorrow, we are going to see some cooler temperatures for your Tuesday, along with a few showers making their way into the region. Tuesday going to be the main day for some rain chances. Other than that, we are looking to remain pretty dry for the entirety of this weekend, even into the weekend as well, which is the main bullet points that we're talking about for your first alert forecast for this Monday. Live shot at downtown Roanoke showing really what we've seen over the past couple of days. Pretty similar to what we saw on Saturday and Sunday. Good mix of sun and clouds. Not 100% sunny, not 100% cloudy either. You can also see that on a current look at satellite and radar. Now, today is going to be one of those days where we might not be 100% dry. There might be one or two unlucky cities that might pick up on a shower or two. You can see that cluster of showers trying to make its way closer to the viewing area, but anything that does make its way into our area or close to us probably going to lose a lot of steam. We've got some fairly stable air in place, so we're not expecting anything in the way of any decent rain chances at all. Aside from an isolated shower or two, looking to be pretty quiet here for this Monday. Now, you notice the bigger cluster storms making their way into the western parts of Kentucky and Tennessee right now. Obviously, that's going to stay well out of our area for the rest of the day today. Now, current temperatures at 76 degrees right now in Roanoke, as well as Rocky Mount 75 in Danville, 78 in South Boston. You go over to the New River Valley, a couple hometowns already into the 70s. Right at 70 degrees in Blacksburg, as well as Galax, 72 in Wytheville. Still trying to get into the 70s right now in the city of Floyd. Now, we've got 80 degrees for a daytime high today, but seeing that we're already at 76 right now in Roanoke, might bump this number up maybe a couple more degrees. But this is right around where we should be for the first day of June. 80 degrees is right around our average high for this time of year, and that's about what we'll put for a daytime high today. And as mentioned, we're going to see a good mix of sun and clouds here and there throughout the day. Rain chances next to zero, but not completely zero. Winds remaining pretty calm as well at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, as we head into tonight, you do notice temperatures not really all that exciting, right around normal yet again. Mid to upper 50s expected for your Monday night and Tuesday morning. Pretty similar to what you woke up to earlier this morning. Now, tomorrow things are going to start to get a little bit interesting. We are going to see some cooler air make its way back into the area, partly due to the fact that we will see some cloud cover start to enter back into the area. Probably more cloud cover tomorrow than what we will see today. And because of that, you notice daytime highs only into the upper 60s and low 70s. So if there's any day that you probably don't want to do anything outside this week, Tuesday probably going to be that day. We're going to up that chance just a little bit of some showers and storms, especially late in the day. Now, not looking like a setup that's favorable for any type of severe weather, but you can see as we head into the afternoon and the evening on Tuesday could maybe increase that chance for a couple of hometowns. But Tuesday morning, like I said, going to be a little bit more some cloud cover, could be a couple of isolated showers here and there, but not looking to be all that active as things are looking right now. Now, I will admit models have been going completely back and forth on the exact timing of this rain on Tuesday. Some models have been wanting to say it's during the first half of the day. Some models have been saying it's going to be during the second half of the day. So the thing I'm going to tell you is to just keep an eye on that forecast, and especially throughout the day on Tuesday, just keep an eye on that first alert radar. You can do so by downloading that WDBJ7 weather app. But what we're thinking right now is, like I said, a little piece of energy going to come in from the north and potentially spark up a couple of storms Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Might provide for a little bit of an active evening commute during the day on Tuesday, but we're going to see some much drier and nicer weather start to enter the region later this week. We're going to have a big old center of high pressure make its way into the mid-Atlantic starting on Wednesday, and that's going to last all the way into Thursday and Friday. That's going to probably bring those temperatures back into the low to mid 80s for a daytime high. Now, as we get closer to the weekend, might be some cloud cover that makes its way back into the area, but I will say Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday looking like some very pleasant weather days. Taking a look at that super 7-day forecast, like I said, a couple isolated showers possible today, a slightly better chance for the day tomorrow, but even then, you notice nothing widespread that we are expecting. And then as we get into the second half of the week, I'll tell you what, those summertime fans are going to be jumping for joy. We'll be back into the 80s definitely by Thursday, if not as soon as Wednesday. And with that high pressure centered right over us, it's going to give us that sinking air, that drier air, and that's going to give us nothing but sunshine for the days on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, could see a little bit more of some cloud cover start to enter the region, maybe an uptick in humidity as well, starting on Friday and going into the weekend. Friday looking like the hottest day of the week, highs into the upper 80s and low 90s, and I will tell you what, it is going to be fantastic pool weather because I know, it was dry this past weekend, but Michaela, wasn't really all that warm on Saturday and Sunday. We were into the, upper 70s, low 80s. Talking about 90s returning to the forecast for the first time in a couple of weeks, and like I said, I'm actually off on Thursday and Friday later this week, so I may finally start to get some color by the pool.
Right, there you go. Hey, make sure to take sunscreen though. Don't, gotta keep the skin protected.
I don't think I'm going to be in the sun for long enough to where I'll have to wear sunscreen.
Okay.
The whole point will be for me to get at least a little bit of a tan.
Right. I understand that. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm loving the high 80s, 90s. And, you mentioned this past weekend, it was comfortable. You know, it wasn't like too hot to where you felt like you had to stay in the pool, but also when you got out, it wasn't cold. I know I finally got in the pool for the first time this past weekend, and it felt great. It's finally warmed up, so that is a good sign, and it should only get warmer from here, which will be great too.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And today, being the first day of June, it's also the start of hurricane season, so be sure to stick around. And later today on your First Alert Hometown Weather Show at 1:30, I'm actually going to be joined by Chief Meteorologist Justin Pavic, and he's going to be taking a dive into the start of hurricane season and what we can be expecting on that front as well.
Okay, yeah, looking forward to seeing that, y'all. So that, again, that's at 1:30 today. They do their weather show every Monday through Friday. It's really interesting stuff that all of our meteorologists come together and put together every day. And if you happen to miss it, don't worry. It is also on demand on our website or on your smart TV on our WDBJ7 app. You can go into the WDBJ7 Plus tab and watch all of their shows back. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Tanner, and thank y'all for staying with us. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more WDBJ7 Plus after this. Thank you so much for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. We have gone through all of our top local stories for today, and we also took a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast. And if you happen to miss any of it and you want to go back and watch, we do upload every show, whether it's this one, our weather show, or our sports show, over on WDBJ7 Plus, which you can find on your smart TV, your phone, wherever you watch your streaming platforms, and over on our website, which I'll show you now. If you go here, this is our home page, and if you go over to WDBJ Plus up at the top and click on that, you will see all of our recorded shows. So this is on demand. You can watch anytime, anywhere. We also have specials on there. You can see Logan, he just dropped his Hometown Eats special for May, and that's where all of the anchors do a special for Plus, and they just put together their previous episodes, their previous pieces throughout the month. So I think he's got 4 Hometown Eats episodes, all exclusively there in one place on WDBJ7 Plus. And if you want to watch our live streams, that is also up on the top banner, that second icon there that says live streams. You click that. That's WDBJ Plus. That is streaming 24/7. And as you can see, that's playing there now. I'll go ahead and mute that. But yeah, we stream all of our newscasts, our traditional ones, and our new WDBJ Plus ones. So yeah, just a reminder on that I wanted to let y'all know about. Also want to let you know about a new segment that we are running here on WDBJ Plus. It is called Go Route 66, and it's put together by one of our
recently visited with filmmaker
stations and out in Texas, I believe, and they put together this this piece that airs, I believe, every so often, but these are all on demand on WDBJ Plus. And if you just go to our app on your smart TV and then go to the tab that says Go Route 66, you can watch all of those stories that they do. And that's, it used to be a major highway, and so they are featuring the people, the businesses, and the stories all along that road there. So it's pretty interesting stuff that you'll definitely want to check out at some point. And also, make sure to download our app to get the latest updates, the latest alerts on everything you need to know. We do breaking news, events or traffic updates, things like that. It's super handy to have. You'll just get a notification right on your phone, and you can stay up to date with everything that is going on across our hometown. So just scan that QR code. If you don't have the app, it's super easy. You can scan that there and download that. But yeah, that's about all we have for today, but I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. As always, stick around though. Coming up in about a half hour, 30 minutes, we will have our noon newscast streaming here that you'll definitely want to check out for, updates and breaking news and things like that. We also have Aging Untold. That streams right after our noon newscast at 12:30. It's a brand new talk show that just kind of destigmatizes aging and talks about the benefits and advice for maybe you, your parents, your grandparents. And yeah, it's a really cool and interesting talk show there. And then at 1 o'clock, we have Investigate TV. That comes on every day, Monday through Friday, 1 to 1:30. And, that is what our parent company, Gray, puts together, a bunch of investigation stories, deep reports on big topics that you've heard about, from data centers to electric rates. I've seen just a bunch of different really cool ones that they do there. And then at 1:30, of course, we have our First Alert Hometown Weather Show that comes on Monday through Friday, where all of our meteorologists, they put together, exclusive content, whether it's weather or, science. They do a lot of interviews and things like that, just talking about all of our local patterns and weather and stuff. And then also we have at 6:30 our hometown sports huddle, where the guys get together, Austin Hicks, Mitch Carr, and Dave Walls. They talk all things sports. They interview a lot of, local players, coaches, people, that have a real impact on sports across our hometown. So that's a really cool thing there. And like I said, if you miss any of them, don't worry. You can catch them on demand anywhere, anytime. Just make sure to have our app on your TV or your phone. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. And as we go out to break, I do want to take a live look here at Pour Mountain. It's a gorgeous day. Hopefully you get to get outside a little bit and enjoy it. And I will see y'all back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching.